And so the way this works sometimes is you pick key views that you like. I am recording, correct? Did I just set up a recording? Okay. And so, Grayson, this is for you, right? So I'd get a view I like, get view 3D. Here's a view I like, maybe. And then so set up some views. And then I'll get another view. Here's another view. I guess I like that view. I actually like it better than the last one. So now I have two views, and I myself will probably have to consult the Visit Users tutorial. There's a way to interpolate between views, and so let's look at that. And so here it's setting up plots and views. It sets up many views. This is the main thing, a val cubic spline. So this setup, so I think C points, so here's viewpoints equals V1, V2. Does it use parentheses? I always get confused about Python syntax. It does. And then we have to say, because, and I mentioned this before in class, it allows you, if you have two views that are, like maybe you have three views, the first view and the second view are very close together and the third view is far away, that it can do like still smooth interpolation. You can say like spend 20% of your time here and 80% of your time there. So it lets you do kind of like spacing between the views. But I don't want to do that. So I just want to do this. 0, 1. Thank you. So I need to do call setup and then fly. So restore the session. Yeah, look at that, cool. So it's not the same plots because I hadn't saved the session again, but we got two views and we were able to do an interpolation between.
Wait, so where's the second? Wait, can you play that again? Sorry.
Sure, well first off, let me do this, because it's got at the end, I have too many things going. Oh, look at that. It's, let's see, setup. Let's take that out. I'm going to exit out of this visit so there's only one thing going at a time. So it restores the session. We get our plot, and then it's interpolating between the two views. Now the plot's different because I didn't save my session. Okay, now we're getting to the end, and there's something I haven't done a good job saying, which I think is really helpful for movie making, which is, and I guess we're gonna have another session in a week, and in a week, let's talk about how to take all your images and collect them up to make a movie. But for now, let's just talk about how to, in your script, make a bunch of images, okay? And so if I were to do that, I would go to, fly.py on line 90, and I would do this. SW equals save window attributes. And, so first off, when you say save window, it's going to make something called visit000.png, visit001.png, and so on. And it has its own naming convention. And actually, when you're making your movie, that's not very helpful. What you really like is you have a series of effects. Here's effect 1, and here's the images there for that. And here's effect 2, and here's effect 3. And so I like to tell Visit exactly the names that I want. I think that I do that by saying family equals 0, and then sw.filename equals, and then I give it a name that I like fly around, %04D, and my time step. And then I say set save window attributes with SW, and I say save window. Probably that's not going to quite work. I've probably done something slightly wrong, but let's try it. So it actually is working. It's giving it the names I want, right? So the advantage of this is if I were to go back to my fly.py script, and somehow if I wanted to have an animate around the z-axis effect and also this fly around effect, then I could go here. I've got 2 saved windows. I'm going to take one out. And call both. So you see when I did this, it made all these fly around images. I'm going to remove them all. I'm going to remove all the images. Now when I do it, it's going to call, the animate around z-axis first and then fly second. And animate around z-axis is going to make stuff that's called z-axis, and the fly around is going to make stuff called fly around. And I'm going to have 2 sets of images. And then at the end, I'll take all those images and put them together in an MPEG. It looks like that's going to have to be next Thursday. Take my word for it, if you make a bunch of images, putting them into an MPEG is not hard, and we can talk about how to get from scene 1 to scene 2, okay? But for now, if you're focusing on making a bunch of effects, here's effect 1, here's effect 2, here's effect 3, and you get those images, next Thursday we'll get it all wrapped together. Actually, I can talk about it on Tuesday as well. So if I run this, now when I run it, it will start by doing my z-axis thing and save 50 images that all have the z-axis name. And then when it's done with that, it's doing my fly around and saves 100 images with the fly around. So now I have 2 sets of images I can do stuff with. Okay, and trust me, when you get these images, you're most of the way there. So, I think going through this, if you use the Visit GUI, make a session file, restore the session, and use Python to animate what you want and save images. Let me just write that down. Easiest path? Question mark. Use Visit GUI to make a session file. In Visit CLI, load session file and do simple animations, camera, time, etc. And then use, like at FFmpeg or something to, well then, sequence your animations or sequence your images, and then use FFmpeg to make movie. I think this is the simplest path. And we've talked about 1 and 2. We haven't talked about 3. I will say the visit tutorial I think is useful, and it actually uses the dam break dataset, and you could consider walking through that tutorial. Okay, I'm going to stop this movie.